What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what is really causing all of this kind of volatility today, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is down 4.6%, 1340 the low, 1426 the high, and 7.1 million shares being traded. 9.7 is the average. So although we are having a lot higher volume, it's mostly coming from algorithmic trading because we only have 3 transactions on the secondary market above $100,000, 2 buys and 1 sell. So you're not really seeing kind of institutions do that much damage. Although one bullish thing, so I want to start off with that, is shorts. So shorts are returning 502,000 shares, now 539. In reality, I see that as optimistic. It kind of shows that today's sell-off might not be justified, but 14.6% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 44.8 million shares overall being shorted. So kind of interesting stuff happening behind the scenes. Getting right to it, what is causing all this kind of disruption? We did have some data coming out first thing. PCE and Michigan Consumer Sentiment both came in line with the forecast, although that might be positive in some cases, but the market doesn't really know what to do with that. And so far, that hasn't really moved the needle for the likelihood of a cut. So right now, there is a 87.2% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut. A lot of analysts came out first thing, kind of said that, hey, yesterday's green day, which was epic, was largely kind of unjustified and might be premature as the market was possibly pricing in an already 25 basis point cut. So I think the market might be jumping the gun, but in Lucid's case, despite there being no news, no SEC filings, you are seeing it lag. And like I said, algorithmic trading is that main reason why, and it is piggybacking off of a lot of negative articles. And I've been always very skeptical, and hopefully a lot of you guys do appreciate that. I'm not here to get you to buy, nor am I here to get you to sell. I kind of say the things that is like actually causing Lucid to go down. So I'm not here to just pump you up, right? And even though a lot of big YouTube accounts kind of take hold of the Gravity or a Lucid Air and do a kind of a tour, give you their massive, like, oh my God, this is the best thing out there, I don't really like those, only because I'm sure some of them are paid. So technically, whenever you're doing a paid sponsorship, you're kind of orient towards being bullish. So whenever someone sends me those, I don't really kind of include them on my videos because I don't see them being that big of a deal. But this one seems to be a very honest approach. And this one was posted by Engineering Explained. 5 hours ago, 144,000 views so far. And in here, it just says owning a Lucid has been super disappointing. So it goes over a lot of things, but generally, this is what the market and Lucid doesn't like to see, is kind of negative, honest, negative criticism. And so I think, in my opinion, just based on the size of the account, which right now has 4.16 million subscribers, this is why Lucid is going down, because someone's saying, hey, you know what, like Lucid might not be the best, blah, blah, blah. So in general, that's just my viewpoint. And I think, again, algorithmic trading is piggybacking off of this and also some negative articles and suppressing Lucid. So it is what it is. Again, for every 1 bearish one, you have typically 4 bullish reviews. So that it's not that overly big of a deal. If you still believe in Lucid, then have at it, buy the dip. But in my opinion, this is the reason why Lucid is going down today. One catalyst kind of popped up. So far, the market's not really believing it just yet, but it does look like China's VP did hold a constructive call with Besant and also Greer. So I think in general, that is something that the market hasn't really paid attention to all that much, is tariffs. So if for whatever reason, China and the States do decide to lower their tariffs, that could be a pretty good stimulant for the broader market. And as well, there was one thing that was supposed to come out today. So I brought this up in my video yesterday on how Trump was going to have a discussion with Mexico and Canada on trade. And this, of course, was going to directly help Lucid, as what Lucid's mentioned in the past. These tariffs with Mexico and Canada have really impacted their margin. You had this come out from Trump earlier on, or later today, just saying that he might meet with Mexico and Canada. So I wouldn't really hold your breath for any updates for this. So most likely that won't come to fruition. So this is everything that's kind of affecting the broader market, and of course through that Lucid. But as I mentioned, no news from Lucid, no SEC filings or anything like that. Shorts are returning, and so that's again possibly bullish. Looking at the options, we are seeing 455,000 in calls, 674,000 in puts, and then 50% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around 14 and above in the next week, and then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub pretty much 1350. So not really much crazy volatility as anticipated. With today being Friday though, this is the open interest. You have 3,000 at that 13, and then 1,000 at that 1350, 4,000 at that 14. So those are kind of the close strike prices. In my opinion, I feel shorts might wake up a little bit just to ensure that Lucid does close below 1350, but still, like, you're not going to see any gamma squeeze or anything along those lines. These are some of the transactions occurring on the dark pool above $100,000. So kind of matches with shorts and how active they are. So most of these are linked to them. So that's been a very common kind of scenario for Lucid, is just being like influenced by algorithmic trading. So institutions, I think, are just waiting for Lucid to say, hey, we actually did hit the 18,000. Time to buy. That probably is exactly what institutions are waiting for. Right now, I think there's just better plays out there, and that's where most likely institutions are focusing a lot of their attention. Right now with it at 1347, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 1318 is going to be a strong support. That wasn't touched whatsoever today. And then 1377 followed by 1414 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. Lucid was surprisingly above this R2. So it really broke down quite considerably today. So again, something to kind of keep in mind. But aside from that, there hasn't been any new analyst ratings. On the actual chart itself, it was kind of showing some optimism. So it is still right now above that 10-day moving average. And I don't feel Lucid is down and out just yet, even though it is getting artificially suppressed. What happened here back in September, I think that is still going to be playing out. During those times, you had some level of consolidation. So for instance, even on September the 12th, then you had September the 16th, the market kind of dragged Lucid down. So today just might be one of those days. But as you can kind of see, algorithmic trading has really been the big force for today. Looking at the market position, comparing it to yesterday, you see a lot more willing sellers up to around that 1375. So I think it's, again, just people are just day trading it, swing trading, and so forth. And you can kind of see as well, I don't know if you can or not, what I will do is I will move my face so you can kind of see it. So at the very top right, you can kind of see the range. So it says 6.08. So today is very volatile, and actually I'll just leave it right here. So range 6.08%. And so that is kind of both spectrums, so the high versus a low. So I think overall, today is just a little bit more volatile than normal, but at the end of the day, I think it is what it is. So let me know your general thoughts on Lucid. Are you planning on buying more, or are you kind of just waiting? Like, what's your general thoughts on Lucid? As I've mentioned in the past, I did sell a couple puts. But as far as buying more, even though I do truly believe that Lucid is going to piggyback off of this right here, and similar to what happened in September, so AI is just going to drag it higher, I probably won't be buying any more just yet, only because I do feel that Lucid needs to kind of prove themselves. They've stated many times that they have been and are going to ramp up, but the expectations for Q4 are immense. It is insane. So they definitely need to hit a home run, and they cannot, there's virtually no room for error whatsoever. If Lucid comes during their upcoming earnings, Q4 earnings, and they start giving excuses, the market won't give them any grace whatsoever. So definitely it is a lot of high expectations for this quarter, and I'd rather even buy Lucid at a higher price, let's say $15, $16, $17, or potentially even higher, if they're actually saying the words that I want to hear, that they're hitting their targets. So that's just my viewpoint. Of course, I could be wrong. You guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. Plus, I just actually launched a $15 tier as more of a kind of promotional type of thing. And so that is right here. So swing trades only. So if you are looking for some absolute bangers, most recent one was ticker PATH, which did go on a massive run. So from roughly around $15 to where it is now. So definitely pop over there, take a look, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.